There's so many bullish things happening right now. It's unbelievable. I mean, if people don't think a golden age is coming for crypto, I don't know what to tell you. Look at just these two things alone, right? In the last day or so. So now we have this article about Wisdom Tree and their ETP that they're putting out, exchange traded product, right? Of course, they're positioning themselves. Wisdom Tree has positioned themselves in other things. And not only that, they like to use the utility of these particular bank coins. If you know which one they're involved in with deeply with their Wisdom Tree Prime app. So now they're getting involved with XRP. I think everybody can see the writing on the walls. XRP is going to explode at some point, way beyond where it is now, way beyond. Just in my humble opinion, not financial advice, but way beyond where it is now. This is nothing. This is cute right now. Just my humble opinion. You could disagree. A lot of people would. But the big companies see that. That's why right now, all these big companies, what are they talking about? You're reading the articles, right? They're talking about XRP and Solana. XRP, that's all you're hearing the most about. XRP, Solana, XRP. Of course, you're always going to hear about Bitcoin and Ethereum a little bit here and there. But the new kids on the block that they're all excited about are XRP and Solana. That's what I'm seeing. All right. Especially when it comes to ETFs. Right. And XRP, we'll see maybe in a clear soon. We have this article like this where and I'm sort of doing two articles at once right now. But this article is titled Ripple's XRP eyes 45% rally as SEC may not follow through with appeal after Gensler's resignation. We'll see if that actually does occur. Is it possible? Yes. But, I like to see something more solid than just speculation on that. But if that were to occur, then sky's the limit. I don't know where they're getting 45% rally. What do you think? I don't know where they're deriving that number from, but in my humble opinion, there's a variety of ways that can go, and it could go much higher than 45%. I like to look on the positive side. Someone could take a more pessimistic look and say it could go lower than 45%, sure. And that argument would be just as valid as my own right now, as far as we're just purely speculating. But the way I'm looking at it is, let's say they don't go through with the appeal. One, then that could coincide or that could spark Ripple or other companies that utilize XRP, SBI, Volante Tech, to come out and say, hey, here's some announcements. Okay, they're not appealing. Boom. Let's hit the people in the head with a few of these big announcements we've been sitting on. And of course, so those together, the bullishness of them not following through with the appeal, plus a few announcements, they don't have to make them the biggest announcements. They can just throw some really, really healthy announcements out there, and it would get the people fired up. I mean, I think anything at this point right now, considering what they claim that they've been working on with the deployment of these advanced mechanisms that they were talking about, that they want to deploy, for Ripple purposes and Ripple client purposes. That's one. Any type of bank use of XRP. U.S. banks that have been interested, all they have to do is talk about that. Let me tell you something. Those words, those announcements will go far. So yes, I do believe that those things in combination with not going through with the appeal could push it higher than 45%. Of course, long term, I'm a long-term believer in XRP. All right, let me make that real clear. So I think what we're looking at, and I've adjusted over time as we've learned more and more, I think we're looking at a number of explosions. To be quite honest, the biggest one ending everything off as far as the massive explosions, right, is RWA. How they're going to go after RWA in the future. I think that's going to be massive. I do. But there will be a few explosions before that. That's just what I believe. All right. There's so many things going on right now. And then once again, keep your eyes. You don't have to, but keep your eyes on Solana. These institutions are firmly behind it. I think that's one of the reasons we're starting to see the numbers for the estimation of where Solana can go getting a little bit higher each time. And once again, we have to remain neutral and as neutral as possible when we're looking at things, and understand that, yes, there's a positive side to things. There's also a negative. So there's going to be dips. There's going to be corrections. Once again, I want to say I don't believe right now, with all the catalysts for crypto, the top cryptos across the board, that any correction, even if it's a severe correction, I don't think it's going to last very long. I think those big companies, once again, will buy up those dips. They will. And sometimes they're buying directly and sometimes they're buying via proxy. This happens in every industry. All right. I also am not beyond believing that there could be a lot of manipulation, market manipulation, in causing a correction, a mass sell-off, and, just so certain entities could buy in, again, a little bit lower than where it is now that they see that things can go this high, they can go higher. So why wouldn't they be incentivized to cause some sort of correction at some point, right? That's very easy to do. Cause some correction so they can buy in at a lower price and then ride that wave on up as they know they see it now confirmed that it can go much higher. I don't put that past them. We saw articles come out over the last 2 months where it was actually quite eye-opening. I'm surprised mainstream media actually were doing their job. No disrespect, but I'm just saying, we're actually doing their job and reported on the manipulation in another market. I'll just put it like that. You saw, right? The market manipulation in another market. It goes on all the time. This is well known. So why wouldn't it also occur in crypto? I'm just saying. Maybe you disagree. I can respect that. So we have a lot of very, very bullish things. The sun is shining on crypto 100%. The golden age of crypto is coming. It's not here now, but we're watching I believe, the build up to it, right? And yes, I think it's without question that a lot of millionaires will be made. If people aren't millionaires already, there's a lot of people sitting on funds. They just don't talk about it. They just don't talk about it. They're quiet. And that's a smart thing to do. You don't want to be out there telling everybody everything you have. That's a dangerous game. You don't want to be showing off. That's a dangerous game. Just my humble opinion. I say be humble. You know what you got. But yes, that would, because I've seen the articles. Oh, millionaires will be made. Yeah, sure. Once again, yes, I do believe that. Just my humble opinion, not financial advice. But the explosions I think we're going to see, I believe firmly, going to shock a lot of people. I think something like, once again, I'll go back to it. I think something like Solana. Is it a guarantee? No. Is there a high possibility that where it could go will shock people? Yes. Yes, I do firmly believe that. Chainlink as well. I think Chainlink has to simmer a little bit more, though. I don't know why people aren't bullish on Chainlink like they are on Solana, considering all the great work Chainlink is doing. But I think it simmers a little bit longer. And I think that also Chainlink is going to shock a lot of people. But yeah, listen, could I be wrong on that? Sure. But I'm trying to crunch together all the articles I've ever read, all the information that I've taken in, all the partnerships, all the work that they've done. I'm trying to think about all of that. And I'm considering that energy, and it just all tells me these things are on an upward trajectory for quite some time into the future, with dips and corrections, yes, and then they continue on upward. It is crypto's time to shine. That's how I'm looking at it. And look, they're removing all of these barriers. If Gensler is gone, and we get a new regulatory regime in, and everything's looking good, and we can run wild in the U.S. We haven't been able to run wild in the U.S. That's a lot of money that's been on the table. That's a lot of utility that's been on the table. And you've seen, I've shown you the articles. I've read to you from pros, experts, non-pros. We've heard all the information we could possibly hear that leads us to the conclusion that the United States is hungry for these new technologies. They are. They're hungry for DLT. They're hungry for the bank coins. All right. They've come out, and a lot of these heads of banks and large institutions, they literally have told you that. So they're hungry for DLT. They're hungry for AI. They're hungry for robotics, even though I'm going to tell you right now, I think that they're holding back on talking about robotics a great deal, because that's the most controversial right now. Out of DLT, AI, and robotics is the most controversial, so they have to sort of back off a little bit. They can't talk about that openly just yet, but I can assure you that they're looking at that, especially with if some of these robots are going to go for $20,000 to $30,000 a piece, come on now, stop. That's so cheap. Competitors how do you compete with that price? You can't price yourself out of the market if you're going to be marketing these robots. But people don't like robotics because they feel like it's going to take their jobs, things like that. And it definitely could. I feel like the robotics can complement the people's jobs. You put the people in a position, you start retraining them on how to work with the robotics. I feel like it could complement them. But we'll see. Humanity is an interesting thing. They make interesting maneuvers. So who's to know? So now let's go here. We got a little bit of Bitcoin news. All right. So now Look at this. It's something we covered a long time ago with these. They have some gold currencies, like they look like they're made of like commodities, but they look like fiat currencies, and they're able to be used legally in some of these states within the United States, although a lot of people don't talk about that. Then you have some gold. They want to back some of these digital currencies with gold, and Texas was one of the places that we covered about that. We have a little bit more information now. This article was titled "Texas Gold Backed Coin Aims to Help Bitcoin Adoption," says lawmakers. That's so. And it continues here. The Texas state-issued digital currency is projected to encourage skeptical investors to eventually try out Bitcoin one day. See, and that's the thing. They're doing this because there's a huge amount of people who still are not into Bitcoin. They're still not into crypto. That conditioning, negative conditioning over the years has to be removed. So, sometimes to help remove that, apart from just educating people on the truth of crypto, blockchain, DLT, you can also incentivize them. And what's better than a certainty where something is gold backed, right? I mean, that's pretty good incentive. A Texas lawmaker believes the state's proposed gold-backed digital currency could play a key role in boosting cryptocurrency adoption. Cody Harris, a member of the Texas State House of Representatives, addressed the development of a gold-backed token in Texas at the North American Blockchain Summit on November 21st. It says, in a fireside chat with Coinbase's David Duong, Harris argued that a state-issued gold-backed token could serve as a gateway for Texans to explore digital assets like Bitcoin. It's interesting, all these so-called gateways that people are building, whether they're stable coins, which is a gateway for the institutions to come into crypto, or gold-backed tokens, which is a gateway for the regular people to come into crypto. And then it's also interesting to me. I think it's highly questionable how many people actually are very informed on gold. I'm not sure. Maybe in this region, they're very gold savvy. I don't know. I would love to know that information, because I know that in my day-to-day life, there's not a lot of people that are heavily into commodities. They're just not. At least, like I said, in my day-to-day life. I don't know about yours. Maybe people are very commodity savvy where you are. I think that's something that should be stepped up. However, I will say I've seen a lot of new content creators, mostly like on TikTok, etc., who cover the news about commodities, silver and gold, a lot of silver. That's interesting to me. So that's been really, really good, because it helps with the education of people. It helps with the acclimation of people into the commodities field to try to understand it, what's going on, the price movements, etc., and get that fear out of them, It says two Texas lawmakers, Senator Brian Hughes and Representative Mark DeRozzi, introduced two separate bills for creating a state-issued digital currency backed by gold in April 2023. Yep, I think that's what we covered around that time. Under the plan, each unit of the digital currency would represent a fraction of a troy ounce of gold held in a trust. Harris said the initiative could help skeptics become more comfortable with cryptocurrency by offering a government-issued digital alternative before transitioning to decentralized assets like Bitcoin. Yeah, I can see that. And it'll be interesting to watch and see how that this works. Personally, I like to do things directly, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. When they say government issued or government something like that, yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm just going to leave that alone. All right. I believe every person should do everything for themselves. You should defend yourself. You should build your own business. You should work for yourself. You should guide yourself. Like, that's just the way my mind works. That's the way I like to exist. So yeah. Now, moving on here. We have a little bit of Solana news, and I don't believe I've seen anything like this. So I felt like this would be an interesting article to cover. Now, this article is titled Solana Price Surge to $5,000. Let me ask you folks out there, if there's anybody out there, I don't know who likes what, a lot of people in the comments don't talk about Solana. But do you believe Solana could make it to $5,000? You believe that? Solana has been in the spotlight since the bull run began in 2023. Well, and then they talk about the meme coin frenzy. Why? Although Solana price is close to $200. What is it right now? It says close to $200. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. I love how at the top they only have Bitcoin and Ethereum prices. Why? Come on now. Let's go to Google. Let's put Google to work. Solana current Current price. There we go. Hold on. Come on. Let it load up. Live Solana price today is $255 according to Coin Market Cap. Let's actually click through on that very, very briefly. I hope you all are doing fantastic out there. It's Friday. I know you're probably relaxing or you're about to relax. You're going out or something like that. I hope you have a great time. Hope you're being safe. All right. Yes. So current Solana price is $254.41. So I don't know why they would phrase it that way, but let's scroll down here. All right. And it was only about a day ago that they wrote this. So it says they consider that close to $200. So anyway, it says in an X post, crypto R us. Is it crypto R us? The way they write it, it looks like a typo maybe. Who has over 245,000 followers made a bold Solana price prediction in which he said that the coin will rise to at least $5,000. This is a person who obviously is super bullish on Solana, probably got in super low with Solana. And maybe they see something that we don't. Like, I think Solana can go much higher than where it is now for sure. $5,000, I'll take it. Sure. If it goes there, sure. Maybe I'll just keep a little bit. It says $5,000 in the ongoing cycle. If that happens, it means that Solana price will need to rise 1,965%. Such a move is possible since the coin has already jumped by 2,447% from its 2023 lows. Remember way back when? Remember then? Right. Remember when everybody was like, oh, Solana is dead. And what did I say? I said Solana is bullish. All right. I love to remember that. The analyst pointed into the cup and handle pattern that has happened on the weekly chart. See, I'm not going by that at all. Charts are fun. I'm going by the continued emphasis in article writers and researchers articles saying that institutional interest continues to be on a rise for Solana. Then also, you see the constant push for a Solana ETF, which obviously has everything to do with institutional interest as well. That's what that makes me super bullish on Solana. What I'm waiting to hear from Solana and builders on Solana is what's going on with the whole bank situation. Now, I can't remember who it was exactly, but I remember Solana. There was a Solana article about going after the banks. Sure, do it. Okay. I mean, I haven't seen an update. Maybe you have and I missed it. I can't catch everything, but that would be huge. But anyway, it says here, it has also completed the formation of the handle section. Now the coin needs to clear the important resistance level at $259.72 is all-time high to confirm breakout. Wait one more time. Let me go back. Let's see what it is. $254.30 right now. And they say it has to reach 259. Wait a minute. Let's go to the chart very quickly. Is this the 24-hour chart? What's their base chart here? All right. So, we shall see. We will see. So now let's move on here. I like to keep up with this because I think this is very, very important. And you're beginning to see how they're covering the cash pile on the side more and more each week. Why? Because now more and more people are paying attention to that, which I've said this for the last 2 years that they should. But the mainstream media is losing control on the narrative, which is interesting because they were the ones who told everybody wrong. But now they want the people to trust them. The mainstream media are the ones who told everybody that cash pile on the side, 100%, it was a guarantee, is going into stocks. That's what they said. And I said what? I said, no, I don't believe it's going into stocks. But I said, let's watch. Because I said if it was going to go into stocks, it would have done that already. So we watched. We waited patiently and we watched. And what happened? 1 year goes by, 2 years go by, and the cash pile kept getting bigger and bigger. It did not go into the stock market. All right. So mainstream media was wrong. So now that some of us, well, I've been saying this from the beginning, that I believe that it would make its way at a certain point, it would start to flow a little bit into crypto and NFTs in the future. It's not time now. I said in the future. It's very possible, because that will be the fastest, most efficient way to make capital. But it will happen after all the companies get in position. I think there's a lot, because the companies will give you more of a certainty that that rise is going to happen. It's not a guarantee, but it will be much more certain, as opposed to getting in at a time where the crypto, where retail volatility is still very dominant in crypto. You get where I'm going with this? So that's why I said that. But let me read this little tidbit here. It says a record high $7 trillion of cash is currently sitting, quote, on the sidelines, unquote, in money market funds. They're trying to regain control over this. So what are they going to, so we're supposed to trust them now? I don't. But let's see what they have to say. Anyone hoping to see a significant chunk of this flooding, the wider investment field, wait, well, how did they, it looks like that was written a little bit wonky. It says anyone hoping to see a significant chunk of this flooding the wider investment field in the coming months may be disappointed. But that's not what we were saying. That's not what I said. Once again, at some future point, when the catalysts are there, when the stars align, the big businesses who are dominant in crypto, they're still moving into position now. There's more certainty. Then I think that money will start to flow out of there and into crypto and NFTs in the future. It says many strategists assume this massive pile of cash will start to shrink now that the Federal Reserve is cutting interest rates. Once again, let me pause there. No, what did I say when they first start putting this idea out there? I said, I don't believe that's going to happen either, because why would you leave money market funds? It's much more than just, the annual percentage yield. It's much deeper than the superficial. You want that to remain liquid, but you also don't want that in the banks, where the banking system is sort of swaying in the wind, and any of those banks could go down at any moment. Now, even though they claim, we have FDIC insurance, then it's questionable how much FDIC has to cover all of these different banks, as there's thousands upon thousands that are in jeopardy right now. So that's questionable, number one. Number two, the freezing of accounts at certain points in time to stop bank runs. Bank runs are very easy right now. We just read like 2 reports about maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago, somewhere around there. I'm pretty sure most people saw those reports where they were saying, well, bank runs are still a threat. Matter of fact, I think we covered one recently, as a matter of fact, but I can't remember everything that we cover here. But I'm pretty sure you saw those. So they don't want their money in the banks for that reason as well. Bank runs happen. You're going to have to freeze certain things. You can't just do that for some people. You have to do that for everyone. Then on top of that, if they pull out early, that looks a little suspicious, like how the last banking collapse happened. All the big money people pulled out first, then it hit the news. Then the retail people ran to the banks. Bank run, stuff started getting frozen. They don't want that either. So why would you leave money market funds? You're in a perfect position. This is about positioning for the future. It's a chess move. I don't think they're going anywhere. No, I don't. But the cash pile continues to get bigger and bigger. It says here, and if the Fed and incoming administration engineer a, quote, soft landing, unquote, or, quote, no landing, unquote, for the U.S. economy, which is, it's going to be interesting just to watch the economy and what happens, because there's a lot of reports coming out now saying, now they want to say, there's going to be a recession. And with the data that is provided, until I see revisions on certain numbers, I don't believe the first numbers that I see. I just don't. I need to see revisions first. You know why. OK, so now it says the U.S. financial and economic landscape has changed radically, perhaps irrevocably, since the redacted happened. Many rules of thumb that have guided investors, businesses, consumers, policymakers for decades no longer seem to apply. I think right now, for the first time ever, I think it's a researcher's market. A lot of things that are going on right now, at least in crypto, are based on partnerships and future utility, capital being locked up, and that making certain things rare. If you look at even let me talk about something separately. Let me talk about the commodities industry. You know, which mining businesses are closing down, who has more access, how much silver is going to be used, et cetera, or gold or platinum when it comes to electric vehicles, or like all of these things matter. It's a researcher's market across the board. If you know who's going to be using what, and if it's going to be rare, is it going to be in demand, when is it going to be in demand, these things matter more than any time ever before, because that money is, people are for a variety of reasons are ready to make big amounts of money, large amounts of value. So they're going to move that money somewhere. It's just a matter of you being able to research and anticipate where is that money going. If you can do that, not financial advice, but I think most people will be pretty successful. You do that. So now that you have the information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.